because mine's not digital.
Ready? Bill, do you want to get your mic on? No. Your mic. Okay. Good morning, everyone. Today is Tuesday, July 6, 2021. The time is 11 a.m. This is our weekly Commissioner Status Update. Officially calling this meeting to order. Do we have any changes to the agenda?
Nope.
Hearing none. Attending Commissioners Duncan, Brooks, and Fillios. And so we'll move on to our first business item, and it is a discussion, and it's the reorganization of the public defender budget to accommodate or make accommodations for the new location. I'm indicated for it, but I guess, Ann, would you take this, please?
Yes, thank you. Commissioners, what we are needing to do is to move what's projected to be excess funding or leftover funding at the end of the fiscal year from our A budget to accommodate things related to the move. Those things are the cabling to get the network system from the county to the building, and that's about $65,000 for the outside portion, and then another 10 to finish the inside portion and get our keypads and those other kinds of things hooked up and ready to go. We're asking for $5,000 for moving costs as well. At this time, I'm projected to have just over $177,000 left in the A budget due to unfilled positions within this fiscal year. And so we're asking to move $80,000 of that for the purposes of making this move happen. That will still leave an excess amount in A budget to turn back at the end of the year.
Okay. Questions for Ann?
No. So I guess you'll just bring it before us in a business meeting. Is that, Michelle, the best way that you want that tracked? So.
And you're okay, Michelle?
Yep.
Okay. Bill? Leslie, I guess you're fine?
Yep.
Okay.
Thank you.
That was easy. Okay, second item, waterways ordinance language. Leslie.
Yeah, Bill and I had spoke a little bit about wanting to look at the restrictiveness of the language, and then Sheriff had a statement in the paper last week about wanting some clarification before he enforced the new ordinance, and so that's kind of what we're here to talk about. So,
Okay.
you want to go, or you want?
Yeah, I am. I think people are trying to define this thing down to the nth degree that don't want it, and my feeling is I trust the sheriff and the deputies, Marine deputies, to make certain choices, discriminations, just like you do with reckless driving and inattentive driving. There's not a checklist in the patrol car. They know it when they see it, and when they see it, they pull somebody over. And when they see somebody stray across the line, maybe, they don't pull them over, because that's all they'd be doing all day long. And I expect them to use the same kind of judgment on the river. I've said a number of times, I've gotten a lot of calls, some emails, but there's a narrative out there by the boating manufacturers talking about we're shutting down any wakeboarding on the Spokane River, and that's not what that ordinance says. And they've got everybody all worked up over it, and I'm not gonna. The people who want that place to be a private lake are going to be unhappy with what I want, and the people who want that place to be a free-for-all are going to be unhappy with what I want. We have large group of additional people. I looked at the Nick's report on how many citations and things were, and we had that one small, I wouldn't even call it an accident, a bump last week, but hopefully that'll be the only and the most serious thing we'll have this year. But I trust the sheriff's office to do a good job. That's all I have to say.
Sheriff, did you want to comment?
Well, I appreciate the commissioner's confidence. I have the utmost confidence that we will use common sense, but I would like to know what the board's intent was. I do know what Commissioner Brooks' intent was, based on this conversation today and previous ones. I do know Commissioner Duncan's. I would like to know if it was your intent to ban wake surfing on the river, and that really gives us a lot of the ability to assess and cite when necessary going forward. So, if it was your intent to ban wake surfing, because I get in a boat and I turn it on and I go. Now, some experts in the field are telling me that these wake surfing boats at 5 or 6 miles an hour, 8 miles an hour, what they're doing is they're plowing, and that is a violation of the ordinance. So I guess I just want to know what your intent was. Was it to ban wake surfing, or for us to use some discretion and like we would during a reckless driving event or something?
From my perspective, it's the latter. Use discretion.
Perfect.
And
We know exactly where to go then.
and I feel bad about when we took this up last time because the audio was so poor. I couldn't hear very well and I couldn't be heard very well. And that's the primary reason I wanted time today to say what I said.
That clears it up, because there will be some people that will interpret this that way. There's that one surfing boat out there, and it's violating your ordinance right here, right now. So that gives us clarification. Thank you very much.
You're professionals. You know how to do your job, Sheriff. And I think most people acknowledge that. You're reasonable, you've been reasonable, and I expect you'll continue to be reasonable.
Perfect. Thank you.
Will you be issuing a press release on your intent with this new language?
You know, I've learned a lot about press releases and press conferences recently. I'm not so sure. I'm still a rookie here when it comes to politics, and I'm learning about that. That'd be something I'll have to,
I just think the voting public wants to hear from you. At least that's what they.
We just expect some common sense. If we've got 3 wake surfing boats that are going down the river and they're going to all meet, then one of them needs to cut away, because you get 3 wake surfing boats, that's going to be a heck of a wave. So we do expect some common sense.
Well, sure.
From the boater, the operator. So I will discuss it with our Marine team and see if that's appropriate.
And we had no problems this weekend, is that right?
We had 13 operating under the influence.
Sorry.
Yeah,
But nothing. You had problems in town, but nothing on the water.
No, we had a stolen boat. Nothing. No injuries to speak of. And
PWC crashed with injuries.
Yeah.
Crashing into
Each other.
Oh, that was
You mean the jet skis?
Right, the jet skis.
The jet skis.
During the 4th of
Yeah.
July week.
Yeah.
So that was the one crash. It was on the Spokane River, PWC.
Not serious.
Yeah, unrelated, because obviously speed and operating a watercraft too close to one another was the contributing factors to that.
Sure. And then does the Coast Guard issue citations as well, or are they just out there to back you up? What were they doing this week?
Citations as well.
And arrest.
Okay.
Federal citations. They can't enforce our state laws or county
Right.
ordinances, but they have federal. They actually, we can get the BOC some stats for that. I don't have them in front of me, but they actually terminated, I believe, 8 voyages
Okay.
for safety violations
Hmm.
and things like that. They can do that federally. They can terminate voyages. Well, we're kind of narrow on our scope, but we can do that. They had
Great.
it was busy out there. There may not have been any incidences, and we're thankful for that. It was nice and safe, but it was very busy this weekend for the water.
Yeah. Okay.
How are we faring, just out of curiosity, with the no wake zone, the 100 feet? Are you seeing many violations there? People encroaching within the 100?
Most of the citations written last year in reference to that were for that specific code. We did education on the excessive side, and so those citations were written for that 100-foot, and it's probably violated more often than not. But again, it's one of those things. How many people are speeding right now when their deputy is not present to see it? That's what it comes down to, right? And so if we see it, we can deal with it.
Okay. Anything else? Okay, moving on. Thank you, Sheriff. Thank you, Lieutenant. Gotta remember that.
Commissioner Fillios.
Yes, ma'am.
It's Jamila Holmes, Civil Deputy Prosecutor, for the record. So during the last business meeting, you made a motion and Commissioner Brooks did second that. And so the resolution that extends the no excessive wake zone across the Spokane River is what's being adopted. And you're going to revisit the other waterways that are narrow and shallow at some point in the future.
As we
That's
need to,
my
yeah.
understanding.
Yeah, so it's on for today's business meeting at 2:00.
And Jamila, can you tell me specifically when does this resolution take effect?
So it's going to publish, and then 30 days after publication.
And Nick, I think, typically handles the publishing,
He does.
We do. Terry.
or Terry coordinates with
She
Nick. Something.
right. She works with Mr. Snyder.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. We okay? All right. Moving on to item 3. Pending item status review list is attached. Okay. Facilities expansion. Leslie.
Yeah, we had our meeting, and it was actually the first of 2 meetings. And so the end of July is when we'll get the second part of our long range study completed. And then we should know in September when the Treasury finalizes their guidelines if we can use ARPA funds to expand the Justice Center.
Okay.
So until then, it's just kind of hanging out, and we'll know better then.
Fair enough. Pack Airport lease. There's nothing going on there, I guess.
Nothing.
All right. Financial snapshot. Michelle, are you good?
No, Dina's out, so it'll be on the
12th?
next week, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
when she
Monday the
returns. Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Bless you.
Issue.
I caught it.
Monday the 12th.
12.
Okay. Impact fee analysis.
Nothing.
Still with legal.
Yep, with legal.
Well, sorry, is that the first one or the second one? Because we have 2 different items.
Well, there's nothing been done. People have been on vacation, and there's nothing as far as legal because they haven't returned it to me.
Okay. So when you say the first or the second, you're
So-
referring to KCFR.
2 things. There's one down here
Yeah, so
and one over here.
the first one is Kootenai County. I'm doing the research to see if Kootenai County can utilize the impact fees. Then the second one is that one that has not been returned from legal, and
Right.
that's the fire department one.
Resolution.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. As to whether we can do it.
The first one is whether we can do it or not.
Right, right,
Bill was
right.
going to talk to some people
Right.
and
Okay.
figure that out.
Okay.
Then the second item is to
On
we
the
have to
resolution.
facilitate the resolution for the fire department's impact fee.
Right. And that's
So-
the one that's with legal.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. All right. Got it. All right. And that's it.
I think we have somebody on the line. So
Is there anyone? Yeah, I guess I can call for public comment.
Uh-huh.
Public comment? Does anybody wish to speak?
Is there anybody join us by teleconference? Oh, somebody said hello earlier.
I guess not. So 11:16, meeting adjourned. Thank you, everyone.